Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our show, What Really Matters NYC, with your host, Tony Keevan. That's me, and we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We talk about topics that impact New York, New York City, or Manhattan. And we've got a guest. We'll get around him in just a second. Lorraine's not here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And we do have a new dial-in number. So there's a new dial-in number. Give it a try if you want to. But we do have a guest, all right? And we can talk to him at least via Skype. So his name is Daniel Gray. Daniel, you there?
I'm here.
Hello, and I can't
Hello?
hear Daniel.
He can hear you. He's talking.
Okay,
Hi.
so I'll ask you questions then, Daniel. How you doing, sir?
I'm fantastic.
Hello, can you hear me, Daniel?
You can't hear. I can hear you.
Okay, it's okay if you can't. If I can't hear you, I'm just asking you some questions. So why don't you tell us who you are and a little bit about what StopNYSlavery.com is about?
StopNYSlavery. Whoa! Now I can hear myself now. StopNYSlavery.com is I'm trying to create a political movement to stop slavery in prisons all across the country. What we're doing is we're trying to get signatures for my petition to go to Albany and petition the lawmakers to end slavery in prisons. Can you hear me?
Got it. So tell us a little bit about. I still can't hear you, so I'm going to have to guess at the answers that you're given, and I'm just going to ask you questions just in a series of questions. So first of all, tell us who you are, and tell us what you do for a living.
Right now, I'm driving an Uber, and it's all right. I've done quite a few things before that. I've been a chef teacher. I taught math. Right now, I'm driving Uber for just for the freedom and the ability to do things like this, to be politically active, and also to write as well.
So tell us how you got into this whole topic of slavery in New York.
I got involved because I got stopped in 2015 in the spring by a police officer, and it was incredibly horrific. I was harassed. I was given 2 summons for something that didn't happen. I filed a complaint with the Civilian Complaint Review Board, and nothing came out of that. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I woke up mad and went to sleep mad. It was like crazy. So I felt like, you know what, I got to do something. I had to do something. And I looked over everything that was happening in the country, and I looked over, and in New York, there's the biggest thing right now is actual slavery. And if we can deal with that big elephant in the room, then we can talk about other things. The police misconduct is meaningless unless we get rid of actual slavery.
So tell me what you mean. What is actual slavery in New York?
Right. Well, if you want, there's a website called Corecraft, CORCAFT.org, corecraft.org. There you can look at all of the things that prisoners make in New York, and you can look at the federal prison system. There's literally thousands of products. In New York, they make all of the chairs and the desks for schools, and they make the furniture for state buildings. They make so many things in New York. There's literally hundreds of products, and the prisoners, they don't get anything really.
Got it. So they are slave labor in a way. They're like, excellent, man. We got the volume going. Thank you so much, Ryan. So we're all here now. We're all good. Excellent. So
Fantastic.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So even is this I guess this workforce, are they in special areas of the state, all over the state? Are they in New York City, or is it every single jail?
If you go to in New York, you can go to the website Corecraft, and they'll list all of the places where these people are doing work. And it's not just that. I mean, that's just the products and services part of it that make the state profits. There's also they do maintenance in the prisons. They repair the prisons. They clean the prisons. They clean the toilets. They wash the clothes. They do all of the volunteer work. And pretty much prisoners subsidize prisons. And
And people keep asking me, they're confused. They say, oh, is it really slavery? It's actual slavery. If you look at the 13th Amendment, the 13th Amendment of the Constitution says slavery is abolished, yada, 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 except in prison, yada, yada, yada. So it's actual slavery. When prisoners go to prison, they lose their labor rights.
Whew. So, and since the majority of, I guess, prisoners are not white in New York State, is that true?
Yeah, it's like about 80%. Most prisoners come from in New York. Most of them come from New York State or Albany.
So, what's the reaction from the politicians about this?
Well, I had a prepared answer, and like I did before I started doing on radio shows. I tried to contact all of the politicians, and I was frustrated. No one got back to me. Just one guy called me back, and I told him, yeah, well, I want to stop the slavery. And he was like, he was confused, and he's like, well, you know what? Let me get back to you on that because I didn't know that existed. But actually, I have a meeting next June 24th with a chairperson. Well, she's not. She's on the committee for corrections in New York. So, I guess progress. I guess. I mean, kind of like I don't know why everyone isn't doing this, but it feels like I should do. I wanted to do it, so I'm going to meet with an assemblywoman next month after the session is over in New York.
Yeah, I mean, Bernie Sanders, maybe he'd be interested. You know, the $15 minimum wage
right,
might apply here too. So the prisoners don't get paid anything. They don't get a paycheck. So there's no taxes. There's nothing. It's just work they do.
It depends on the program they're in. Some, like for example, and it depends on the program and depends on the state. Like states like Texas, the prisoners get zero, and it's actual plain slavery, and they all work. 100% of the prisoners work in Texas. In New York, they get, it depends between, it's something like $1 an hour, or less, something like that. And then on top of that, once they get that money, they only can spend it in a few places, like making phone calls, snacks like candy and whatever, or they pay to use the internet because internet and telephone calls aren't free for prisoners for some reason. And then there's another program that's not like Corecraft is for New York State. There's another program that is for any company, and those prisoners get the minimum wage. And it's not really minimum wage because 60% of that money goes to the state prison. But the difference between a state program and the ones where the prisoners get the minimum wage is that those companies that utilize those prisoners' labor, they can sell those products anywhere. So those products are everywhere. Like recently, Whole Foods was under fire because they used prisoners to grow their fruits and vegetables and make cheese and stuff like that. And like Victoria's Secret, there's a company called Prison Blues. You can look it up, prisonblues.net. They make and sell jeans. It's so widespread that I don't understand why no one says, wait a minute, that's pretty much slavery. That is slavery.
Oh, so in those cases, the government is partnering with private business to, I guess, onward sale goods that the prisoners make?
Right. But in that instance, the prisoners get the minimum wage, which is whatever it is, $8 an hour or $9.
Oh, in that state. Got it.
And then
well, some people, let's pretend I'm Donald Trump for a minute, all right? And I say, well, what do you want them to do? Sit around on their ass all day long and do nothing? Or at least they're contributing to society and doing something positive, whether we pay them or not. Screw them.
Right. Now, here's the thing. This is the argument that people have been using for actual slavery for hundreds of years. It's still slavery. There's too much of a conflict of interest. Too many people are making money. It doesn't benefit society. It doesn't benefit the prisoners. Slavery has never, not once, made prisoners' lives better. There's no evidence of it.
But I'm Donald Trump. I'm not interested in making the prisoners' lives better. They committed a crime. I hope they rot in hell. I want them to sit in their dungeons and work like slaves for me.
Yeah. It is. Now the thing is, you can make that argument, but what's the point of prison if those people aren't changed? These places are called Department of Correction and Department of Rehabilitation. They don't do any correction or rehabilitating. 76% of all prisoners that get released from jail get back into jail within 5 years. That is a complete failure of the system. The system is designed for slavery. It's designed to keep people in. It's designed to crush them and make sure they work forever. That's why there's long prison sentences and over nothing. It's designed for slavery. Let me tell you.
So you have to kind of feed the beast, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Here's the thing that most people don't understand. I mean, people haven't heard yet. There is a protest that is happening this September 9th. Not protest, I'm sorry, a strike, a prison strike, labor strike by prisoners.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do they have a labor union?
They don't have a labor union. There's a group that wants to unionize the prisoners. They call it the Incarcerated Workers Organization. Wait a minute, IWOC. My brain isn't working. It's the IWOC, Incarcerated Workers Organizing Committee. They're trying to organize prisoners into a union, but the prisoners themselves, not any other group, they have decided we're not working anymore. And there is a nationwide prison strike planned for September 9th of this year. And no one's talking about it. It's not on. You look on the internet, they made the announcement, but there's no. I guess it's bad because there's no sound clips, no news bites. That's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out and tell people and inform the public that the biggest strike in the history of the country is going to happen in a few months. And if you sure, Donald Trump is going to say, oh, we should make their lives miserable. What's going to happen when millions of people at the same time stop working in America? What's going to happen? I don't know. I'm confused. It's like I'm excited and terrified at the same time, because it's literally could be the end of mass incarceration. There's no way that the system can support itself.
Oh, I see.
There's no way.
Got it. Let me just stop for a second and ask callers. We've got a new number, so if you want to dial in, give it a try. All right, the number is 347-871-5571. If you're out there, it's a new number. It's a Google Voice number, so see if it forwards to my phone here and we can get you on the air, sort of bypassing our down Verizon lines. We'll give it a try. So give it a try if you want to talk to Daniel for a minute. So, what's the next step? Because, you're one guy, you're fighting this big picture, you got a lot of enemies, the country's very conservative, Trump's going to become president, and the strike might happen for a day, but they'll probably just throw some penalties at folk and make it happen. And I don't know. I mean, it's great you're trying.
Yep.
But what's the bigger picture? You got any friends anywhere?
Personally, not yet. I am going to meet with some other people organizing this Saturday. It's almost, I guess to me it is like I'm one guy shouting against the wind. But it's not just me. There's most of the action is happening in the southern states. I keep looking at myself. I should be looking over here.
That's okay. Look at the camera. It's cool.
Most of the action is happening in the southern states, because down there it's brutal and cruel, and they don't. In New York, they're much more nice about the slavery.
So
what I think is going to happen. I think. Honestly, I think the prison strike in November is September. Sorry,
yeah,
it's all to get attention, and get people to talk about it in the national media about the presidential race, because Donald Trump is apparently doing like a white nationalist campaign, and Hillary Clinton is like going super pro-black. It would be the biggest problem with this issue. The biggest problem is people don't know that it is actual slavery. I mean, once people know, then the change will happen. Once people know,
Okay.
I'm sure the prisons are going to crack down, but people are going to know. Once people know, once it enters the psyche of the country, things will happen. Things will change. And that's what I'm doing here. That's what I want to do anyway.
Well, Daniel, you're very admirable. We thank you very much. We'll look forward. Maybe what'll happen is if the strike really happens on September 9th, then everyone will talk about it on September 10th. So we'll have you back then. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, pleasure, and thanks for sticking in there for a good topic and trying to make a difference against the waves.
All right.
Okay. Peace, love. Thanks so much. Okay. Thanks for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye.